Test, 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 test. What's up, YouTube? It's Francis and Dead again. At the moment, I've got tons and tons of thoughts and ideas to share with you guys, and I just find it super extremely difficult to word them right. Anyway, let's first of all let's start with the feasibility discussion of the establishing a business in Sydney, Australia, and make it self-sustaining. I have always been dreaming to return to Sydney, Australia, and resume my business there. Resume my small IT computer business. But now, I have in the difficulties, the hurdles, the stalemates that I have encountered. They prevented me. They are still preventing me from getting a foothold, from getting the business, the company itself fortified, though it now already has its own its own business banking account under that entity's name, not my name but the company's name. I'm not sure if that's that's an adequate way to protect the company. Once it faces the litigations from customers, from enraged customers, or from the government, or from anything anything or anyone. So before we can fortify ourselves, we have to have the action plans against the litigations in place. That's number one, because a litigation or a dispute that can escalate into litigation can completely destroy any any possible solutions or resolutions to a profitable business. That's number one. Number two is how do we get the visa? How do we satisfy that sub-clauses of that particular immigration legislations? So I highly suggest that you guys go and have a look at the case archives of the AAT, AAT, also known as AKA administrative. Let me Google it just in case I name it wrongly. AAT, also known. Excuse me. AAT. Sorry. What was that called? What do we call it? We call it administrative tribunal or something like that. I'm just trying to find it, and it's taking forever to load. Anyway, it's just the abbreviation of that government agency is called the AAT. Once you look through the archived cases, you will know that in what case, in what under which circumstances you can be granted a visa, especially a long-term business visa, 457, subclass 457. That's the But recently they have placed the internal policy to restrict and ultimately block you from making that particular application in order to self-sponsor, to undertake that self-sponsorship and self-nomination through your own company. So we have to figure out the alternative, which is the subclass 188A, the provisional investors visa. That visa enables you to either establish a business for on your own, or purchase or buy an existing business entities. That business entity can be a company, an unincorporated entity, or a partnership. But I'm not sure if you can use the sole trader entity to self-sponsor, because no one on that legislation has, no one, but nowhere on that legislation has specified whether you could use a sole trader business entity to self-sponsor yourself. I don't know. So I highly suggest you guys, find yourself a migration agent or a migration lawyer, and it's best that you find your friends who have already been granted with 457 visas successfully, and whose case also resembles your case the most. Say that particular friend of yours, he or she already had small businesses, and he or she used that small business entity to self-sponsor and then to achieve the nomination. And the nomination is, I have been told by my previous migration agent that's the pitfall that causes most of the applicants screw their applications up. So be aware of this gigantic pitfall. And there's another constraint, is whether you could find your spouse there. If you can find one, be my guest. You will it also adds perks, adds bonuses to your future migration pathway, especially if you apply for the independent skilled immigration visa, such as subclass 189 and 190. These ones, if you have a spouse, then your spouse can help you, whether it's a heterosexual one or a homosexual one. And on the other hand, yes, even if you plan to apply for the 457 visa via self-sponsorship scheme, it also can render you quite advantageous with a spouse rather than without a spouse. Because if you, should you fail to satisfy the criterion specified by the Department of Immigration and Border Protection, your spouse can apply for that 457 visa as the primary applicant instead. So that can help. So does that make sense to you? If I hope this video clip can help you somehow to to acquire the 457 visa grant if you do intend and if you do insist using this self sponsorship scheme to eventually achieve permanent residency in Australia. Sorry, please do pardon me, guys, for my stuttering, because I always got super excited when I make a video clip regarding the migration matters, to Australia, especially because I have failed it, and I'm always in dire need, to resume this path for myself. Anyway, thank you guys again for watching, and I shall see you on the next episode of Francis and Dad. Francis and Dad migration advice recommendations via entrepreneurship. Peace out, have fun, and stay tuned. God bless. Cheers.